Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about DLP or data loss prevention policies in Power Platform. Although DLP is available or can be configured for Exchange, Teams, SharePoint, and OneDrive Business. So DLP is basically help us admins to prevent accidental deletions from happening or maybe any sort of data breach. Okay, but in Power Platform, DLP is used to block the connections or basically allowing admins to refrain the connections between different connectors. So connectors as in if you have noticed in the flow, there are multiple SharePoint connectors, and whenever you click on that plus icon, so you have multiple connections available like Teams, Exchange, Outlook. So there are multiple connections available. So admins can configure policy so that the flow cannot talk between any other non-required connections. Okay, so these connectors are classified into three categories: business, non-business, or the block ones. Okay? So we know that DLP basically help us to keep our environment secure. Okay, and also the main thing is about the connections or the connectors. When admins classify them, okay, they cannot talk to each other. For example, if SharePoint and Teams are added into the business classification, then SharePoint and Teams can communicate with them easily, but SharePoint cannot communicate with Salesforce. Or, for example, SharePoint cannot communicate with Trello. Vice versa, the non-business connector cannot communicate with SharePoint, Teams. Okay, and then we have the blocked category. So blocked. So what we can do is we can put up any connector in the blocked category, and those connectors, so for example, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, these are social media connectors. But I want that no one would be able to use any of the connections. What I can do is I can put them into the block category and no one will be able to use them in their flows. Okay. So these are different classifications of connectors and these connections, okay, these classifications cannot communicate with each other. The communication has to be done within the connectors itself. So main thing is in Power Platform, you can have multiple environments. So suppose if I'm blocking the connector in a one environment, but I can use that into a different environment. Okay. Expand the DLP policy. Policy can be applied into multiple environments. Okay. And if you want test production and then dev environment, and I want that the DLP policy should apply on the dev environment. Rest two will remain intact. So I can simply apply the DLP policy to the dev environment. Otherwise, I want that it should be applied to each and every environment. I can do that as well. Just want that it should be applied to production and dev, not the test one. I can do that as well. So this can be done in a DLP configuration. So now let's look in actual how to configure a DLP policy. So in order to do that, let's navigate to Power Platform Administrator. Okay. So I have shown couple of times that how we can go to Power Platform Admin Center. Okay. And if you're still not aware or don't know how to access it, please check out my videos. Last videos I have shown it couple of times. Okay. So now when we are into Power Platform Admin Center, there are two ways by which you can go to DLP. The very first and the simplest way is just type DLP in the search bar, and the very first option which comes up, just click on that, and then you will be navigated to the DLP automatically. Or otherwise, if you want to go by step by step, what you can do is just click on this Authority. On the left hand side, click on data and privacy and then click on data policy. So now you can see that I already have a policy configured. Okay. But let's delete it. Let's create a new policy from the scratch. Okay. I will click on new policy and this will be a demo policy. I will give name with same thing, demo policy. Next. So in this location, so you can see business, non-business and block. These are three different groups I have. Okay. And also you can see this blockable column. So this blockable column can tell us that which application can be blocked and which application cannot be blocked. So for example, what I'll do is this SharePoint application, I'll just move this to the business category. Okay, I'll select this, I will move this to business category. Okay, so now you can see that in business, I have one connector and rest of the connectors are still there into the non-business. Okay, and also what I can do is I can put up any of the connector like LinkedIn. LinkedIn is also one of the connector. Okay, I can put this into the block category. I simply click on block so that no one can use the LinkedIn, right? Or else everything is configured. I'll just simply click on next. Okay. If you have any custom connectors, so you can surely put up here, but you need to put up the connector URL as well. As of now, I'm not using any custom connector, so I'll just leave that blank. Or you can also skip this while you configure this at your end. I'll simply hit next. So like I mentioned earlier that you can configure DLP policy for all of the environment you have, or you can select multiple environments if you have, right? Or you can select this DLP policy for all of the environment and you just want that it should skip one or two environments. So you can do that as well. So right now I only have one environment at my end. So I'll simply click on add all environment. Okay. And create policy. So the policy will be created and it will be applied instantaneously on my end because I have a small environment. But in your environment, if you are working on a large environment, it can take some time, right? So I'll just added the policy once again so that I can show you the connection part, right? And hit next. All right. Oh, sorry. Let's wait for this to load up. Okay. So now you can see that SharePoint is a business connector and the rest of the connectors I have into non-business and there is only one connector which is LinkedIn is into blocked connections. Okay. Power automate and I click on create. It will be a very simple uh, instant flow. So I'll select automated cloud flow. All right. And let's select this one when an item is created. Let's test demo DLP. Give it some name for the flow. Create. So let's wait for this to load up and I'll be switching this to the classic one because I like that better. So I'll just switch it back to classic and I'll take a pause here. Okay, we are back now. The classic view is on now. I'll just simply select any site address. So for example, let's select this honey site. Any list name we need to verify or we need to put up. Let's select this document list and I'll click on new step. Okay. So right now the all the connectors which I have are basically non-business. So let's create Teams. Right. Let's use Teams connection, which is into the non-business connections. Teams. Okay. And let's see. Let's create a chat. Okay. User ID. I want to add myself into the chat. So like or put up my address. Okay. At 5062 into 8 dot on microsoft.com. Okay, so I have added my address here. Okay, and let's Simply click on save and let's see if we can save this or not. All right. Let's see. It's saving. Okay. All right. So you see that your flow was saved but could not be enabled because it conflicts with the company data loss prevention policies. And you can see that the message is showing up there when an item is created. It says the operation violates the admin data policy, okay, which restrict the business connector, right? So, like I mentioned earlier, that connectors can communicate with each other, but it cannot communicate cross classification or cross group communication. It cannot do that. Okay, so this actually proves the point, right? And in the policy, okay, if I have shown you the blocked one as well, which is LinkedIn, okay, so let us do that as well instead. I just remove this, okay, and this time we'll just try to use the LinkedIn connector. I tapped LinkedIn and you can see the LinkedIn is showing up. I just click on LinkedIn, okay, and you see, but there is no action for me. I cannot use it. You could not find any action for, like, there should be something or related to post or any sort of article or anything, but I'm not getting anything. Okay, so and also on top of that, it says that flow was saved but could not be enabled, right? Cancel this. Okay. So now you can see that in the action itself, I'm not getting anything. It should have say something like post an article, write a post in LinkedIn or something like that. But you see that when I select LinkedIn, there is no action for me to actually select and create the flow the next step. It means that the connector which we blocked LinkedIn is actually working. Cannot. So that's it. This video we have seen how to create DLP and how to apply it. Okay, so just try at your end and do let me know. And if you want to learn about SharePoint and Exchange, I will leave the link in the video so you can go through that. And if you have any feedback, so please feel free to share your feedback, and I'm happy to accept that. So see you in the next video. Till then, happy learning. Goodbye.